Before watching this video, make sure you check out part 1 where I teach you how to build the pitching machine that I'm going to build the field around in this video. The first thing you're going to do is decide how far away from home plate you want your fence. So you're going to take some practice hits and mark where the ball lands with a prop. Just like that. You're going to do this a few times to every direction of the field. And once you're done, it'll look something like this. So now you can decide where you want your fence. You can use any prop to build this temporary fence. If you want a short fence where home runs are possible, you'd put it about right here. And home runs would be really easy. But for this field, I don't want home runs to be easy, so I'm going to put my fence way in the back. So on this field, home runs will only be possible to left and right field. This fence is just temporary. We will make it look better later. You can take some more practice shots to make sure this fence is the right distance you like. Once you get that how you like, you can design the shape of your outfield the way you like. This field is going to be a Wrigley field, so I'm going to copy the shape of this field. This fence will also be temporary. It's just to get the design the way I like. I think that looks pretty good, so we're going to move on to the next step, which is just deleting everything that you don't need anymore, including all the temporary grass and all the props you used to mark where the balls would go. Next thing you're going to do is fill the whole field with dirt. When you place this dirt, you're going to want it to be on grid snap 2 and make it as big as it can be, except for the height, which you're going to want to be as low as it can be. This is so the dirt will be overlapped by the grass. It's okay to have the dirt past the fence in some places because there will be stands over it so no one will see. Make sure you do not cover the pitching machine or else the ball will get stuck inside. Along some fences, you don't want the dirt to go past, like near the dugouts. The next thing you're going to do is add your bases. For the bases, I used a white cube from the cube gallery. You can make your bases whatever size you want or whatever distance you want apart. Just make sure it's square. I like to have the base barely protrude out of the ground. Run around the bases to see if it's the right distance you like. For home plate, you're going to want to rotate the square twice and place it in the center. I put 2 pieces of wood wall just so I can make sure it is centered. You're going to want to make it a rectangle, not a square, and then you're going to add a triangle to the bottom. Grid snap is going to have to be off to make sure it's flush and doesn't stick above the square. For the baselines, I grabbed a couch from the top secret gallery and resized it to as skinny as possible. For the batter's box, I just made a rectangle and then rotated it and placed it on both sides of home plate. For the foul lines, I just made it as long as possible. You want to make sure it lines up with the edge of home plate. Then you're just going to extend it all the way to the wall. Then you're going to drag the base to be flush with the side of the foul line. I just copied and pasted the left field foul line to the right field foul line. Under the base you can see there are music blocks. I put those under the base so you can hear whenever the base is stepped on. Now we're going to move on to the infield shape. You're going to grab whatever color grass you want and don't resize it at all. You're going to add a ring from the ring gallery to get the shape of the infield you like. Once you get the shape the way you like it, you're going to put the grass right on the edge of the ring. And you're going to rotate the grass and do the same thing, keep putting on the edge of the ring along the right field and left field side. Then you can put the grass along the baselines. Then you delete the ring and you can fill the grass inside the gaps. I did this really fast, so it's not perfect, but if you want it perfect, you can take your time. I had to delete the grass around the pitching machine because I ended up using a different color. You can shape the infield however you like, but I just did a basic shaped diamond. Then for the circle around home plate, you're going to do the same thing by adding a ring and resizing it to the size you want. I got the ring to the size I liked and then put it to the ground to the side to make this easier. I grabbed a piece of grass and made it smaller and put 4 sides on it and then rotated it around the ring to give me the circle. Then you're going to bring the circle up to the field and delete it from the base path. This part took a lot of adjusting to get it right. And since all the grass around home plate was a little lower than the rest, I copied it all and raised it up to make it all even. The next thing I did was made the dugouts. Since I was copying Wrigley Field, I had to make the dugouts about the same shape. And at Wrigley Field, the left side dugout is a different shape than the right side dugout. Then the next step is to build the permanent fences and get rid of the temporary ones. And since I'm building Wrigley, I put a brick wall with ivy and a basket above. For this step, if you're building a real stadium, I suggest Google searching the walls to look at them while you build. What I did is I turned on my PS4 and opened up MLB The Show and went into replay mode on a Wrigley game so I could look around Wrigley Field to see the dimensions and the shapes of the walls. And you're going to go around the whole perimeter making the permanent walls you like. I'm not going to do the seating or stands now, but I'm just going to show you the prop that I like to use. You go to the Dusty Divot prop gallery and grab this wedge type concrete piece and resize it to whatever size you want. So I went ahead and finished the walls that I'm going to use for the map. I changed up the ivy that I was using because the render distance on the other one was not working well. Built basic shape of the dugout out of cubes and built the railing out of this tomato town thingy. So now that I got the walls done, we're going to do the warning track. You can make the warning track however big you want. I'm going to make it about a little under half of a block. So that's it for the field shape tutorial. Part 3 will be coming soon, where I teach you how to build the scoreboards and how to do all the other mechanics, and where I'm going to finish the field.